Welcome back to another episode of our heart-powered inspiring interviews. And it's so wonderful to have you with us today once again. And as every time, we have an amazing guest with us today, and she's a great friend, and she's truly a heart-powered lady and influencer. And she's really been working for more than 20 years in the field of sustainable living research. She's running sustainability projects. She's an incredible speaker. She's teaching people at universities, and she's also a coach and coaches people as an environmental planner, lecturer. She has a PhD, and she's also a trained sustainability consultant and mindfulness trainer. And what she does is something that I think concerns all of us. She shares on a regular basis very practical, fun, powerful, life-changing tips related to food, nature, travel, and so on, so that we embrace actually nature and our natural resources in a greater way. And she also works with businesses to make them more aware of what the business leaders and everyone involved in their business can do on a daily basis in a more practical way to use our resources in a more powerful way. Yes, also to save money, to become more profitable as a business, and to contribute in a great way with the business to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And she's working with a range of clients from businesses, all kinds of organizations, also municipalities, entrepreneurs, and individuals, so that she works with them on strategic planning around sustainability. And she's providing online courses, workshops, and as I said, she's also an amazing speaker at high-end conferences and in business organizations. So Pernille Malberg Dyg, it's wonderful to have you with us today. Hey, let's go and just really inspire and empower everyone with us today on our heart-powered, inspiring interview. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Monique. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for your warm welcome.
Great. And it's wonderful to have each and every one of you here with us today. So, Pernille, why don't we jump in right away? I know we're living in not so easy times. What would you say? What keeps you vibrant and positive and joyful at the moment? What are you doing to stay in that vortex?
There's many things I do. I think this is a really exciting time because with the coronavirus and all the other challenges that are out there, I think it's a time to really slow down and think about what really brings us meaning, what brings us purpose, and really kind of appreciate the small things in life. There's a lot of shifts that are happening now. Now people are, of course, not traveling so much and not shopping as much as they normally do. But even when we're beyond this Corona crisis, I think just being a little bit more mindful of how we travel. For instance, is it possible to do online meetings instead of flying around the world all the time? Of course, it's important sometimes to travel by airplane, but are there can you sometimes just do an online meeting instead of flying as much as many of us are used to? So this time is really bringing to light a lot of the things that we could be doing, although of course this is very extreme in terms of all the limitations that we're also faced with. So I find a lot of hope in kind of seeing like how the planet is responding to us, by the changed lifestyle that we're forced to have at the moment. That the planet is actually gaining its strength again. But of course we have to find ways where we don't have to do nothing like we are at the moment, but still can do something that brings us joy, but maybe in a more sustainable and mindful way where we think about how we impact the planet. So that's what brings me hope at the moment.
Great. And I think that you're also following Buddhist mindfulness trainings, right? You said that that's actually
Yes.
something you're doing, right? So what kind of trainings are you following and what does that do to you?
Yes, at the moment I'm following an online course in the footsteps of a monk called Thich Nhat Hanh, who's been working a lot in the past. I think he's almost 90 now, but he's been working a lot with bringing mindfulness practice to the Western world. You know, trying to bring people more into the present moment, being more aware of what's happening right now in their bodies through breathing techniques and mindful eating. You know, just when you eat something that you really connect to the vegetable that you're eating, or the grain that you're eating, and really giving thanks to the earth and giving thanks to the farmer when you eat something. So he's tried to bring attention to how we can live more mindfully in the present moment through breathing and through connecting with whatever we do, through connecting with nature on a daily basis, either, you know, just going outside and really, you know, listening to the birds and the sound of the trees, listening to, you know, even cars and things going around in your local neighborhood. So that can actually bring us home to give us more joy and happiness in the present moment, but also being more aware of how we feel and finding, you know, gratitude in what we have, and not all the time seeking external pleasure by, you know, finding happiness in products we buy, or the next vacation we want to go on, but really, you know, being a lot more in tune with the present moment, and have gratitude for what we have, and have gratitude to Mother Earth. So that's really something that is inspiring me a lot in my personal life, but also in my business.
Right. So what are some things that people can do right now? And we have a lot of entrepreneurs here and business leaders and change makers. What can we all do right now? A couple of hints and tips from your side to really, yeah, embrace the opportunities we have right now.
Well, I think one advice would be to really maybe connect to some of the products that we buy on a regular basis. At the moment, there's of course a lot of focus on toilet paper, but if we and maybe it's a little bit of a silly example, but you know, if we really tune into you know, where this actually toilet paper come from, it comes from trees. You know, we're cutting down trees in many countries. So really connecting to the fact that that toilet paper is actually something that comes from nature that we have to protect. It can also be about, you know, thinking about what kind of toilet paper you use. So not only about, you know, maybe saving, you know, not using it excessively, but thinking a little bit more, being more mindful about how much you use, but also the kind of toilet paper you buy. It could be, you know, when it's not bleached, when it's based on recycled paper, it's a lot more sustainable, because it's not requiring that we cut down more trees, but actually we're reusing, recycling some paper that's been used in another for another purpose. So that's an example. It can also be about where you get your vegetables from. Is it something that was produced locally? Is it something that's organic? Is it something that's you know, maybe replacing meat? We know from research that especially red meat has a big impact on the climate because of the methane emissions from red meat production, beef especially, but also just that meat is actually very it requires a lot of water to feed the cows and things like that. So, you know, trying to reduce the amount of meat that you eat is a really good way to you know, both protect your own health, but also to protect the health of the planet.
Yes, great. And you know what? I feel like I'm already on a good track because right now also to reduce, our need to go out and drive with a car to a supermarket. I mean, it's maybe not a good example, but we get great food delivered to our house, and a lot of the food we are eating at the moment is vegetarian. So again, being aware of what we eat, the toilet paper we use, obviously. I mean, right now there's not a lot of choice of what toilet paper to buy because most of the shelves are
Exactly.
empty, right?
Right.
But again, one day, that will change again, and being more aware of that would make a lot of difference. So, what is one concrete thing you invite everyone being here with us today to do right away to become more conscious, to become more aware in these times? What can people do to become more mindful and to adapt our consumption? Or, even if you have some ideas for our business owners here, what could business owners do right now? What can we do in a private life, and maybe give us some example on what we could do today in our business?
Mm-hmm.
Become more mindful.
Okay, so maybe if I start with the private life first, I think really to appreciate where when you eat something, where it comes from. Being in tune with, okay, this is a vegetable. It's coming all the way from Spain. Think about all the how it was produced. Was it try to investigate how it derived at your table. Sometimes an example for me is with avocados, for instance. It can be a challenge because a lot of our avocados are coming all the way from Chile, so that means that it's been flown to your supermarket. So I would say, try to look at where it came from. Sometimes a good tip would be to see if you could support local farmers. And I know local farmers in Spain is not very local to a lot of us. I'm living in Denmark, but I've bought avocados directly from a farm where it's been transported by truck, which is a lot better than having it be transported by airplane all the way from Chile. So that's an example. For business owners, I would say it's both about it's like the products that you are using in the business is can that be sourced more locally? Can it be organic, for instance? It can also be about really thinking about ways that your business can give back to the community. That a lot of times young people, especially today, they're really attracted to jobs in companies that have a purpose. So with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which is a global agenda, this could be, in a very practical term, be something about where your business in some ways support local initiatives that will either help homeless or support the nature, bringing the employees out and being more connected with nature through like different events or different actions locally to, I don't know, pick up trash or something like that, where actually the business is not just a business to make profit, but it's also a business that brings back to the something positive to the community in terms of constructive action. Because a lot of at least here in Denmark, a lot of the businesses have to work with the Sustainable Development Goals in order to in order to kind of be on the forefront with the corporate social responsibility, but also just to attract the young brains. I think it's important to also have this saving the planet or healthy planet as a part of the purpose of the company, and not just to generate profit.
And again, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with generating profit in country. I mean, that is the purpose to build a business, or it's, you know, let's say it's at least the result of what we are shooting for. It's actually not the purpose to build a business. I think for me and for you, Pernille, and for a lot of us, we built our businesses because we had that mission. We wanted to create that change. We wanted to make something different happening. And of course, making profit is an important part of that. But especially right now, as we are going through these times, there is so much need in our neighborhoods, and especially, you know, also when, you know, when people work from home, like a lot of people do right now, we could still engage them in initiatives to connect with local people, for example, right? With elders, to help them on the shopping side. And there's so many initiatives here in Germany, I'm sure in Denmark and everywhere around the globe right now, where, you know, in tough times like the coronavirus time, people are becoming creative to see in what way can I also support, you know, people around me in my community. And now is a perfect time to become creative. So I know a lot of businesses adapt their production, you know, and there's so many things you can do. So just start asking yourself, what can I do today? In these times, a lot of employees are only working part-time. You know, can I engage or encourage them actually to engage in another initiative to support our local community? Because what will happen if we do? They will come back to us and we become their preferred brand, right? So it's you know, a mutual fall in love with each other and supporting each other. And be creative with each other. So thank you, Pernille, for all your thoughts and suggestions. Where can people find you if they like to connect with you and learn more about what they can do in concrete ways as individuals, as organizations, as businesses, to become more mindful and to really create a concrete catalog of initiatives they can take to make their business more attractive, but at the same time more profitable and more magnetic to clients, to employees, and everyone else? Where can they find you?
So they can find me on my website called Sustainable Me, in one word, .biz, B-I-Z, where I have you know, online courses, different tips, blogs. I also have some videos on YouTube where you can get some very hands-on tips, for instance, about how to reduce food waste in your household and other things. I'll be posting other things as well. Perfect.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us today, for inspiring and encouraging all of us. I'm definitely going to check out where my toilet paper comes from today and a few other things. So you do an incredible job in making sure that we all become more aware, more mindful around our natural resources, so that we can take care of them and of each other in a more powerful way. Thank you, Pernille, for being with us today. And all of you, I hope you got inspired in some way. And I hope you're going to take the actions that Pernille suggested us today. I'm always game. So let's do that today. And let's just share what we experience and what's coming up for us. And also questions you might have around that. And if you want to connect with Pernille, you know where to find her. So thank you, Pernille, for being on. Thank you for being on with us today. And we'll be back soon with another episode. All the best.
Thank you.